Sudden death. Sudden. Oh, you died. Sudden death. Oh, you're so short.
Nope.
Oopsie daisies.
Oh no!
It's about to hit. Okay, looks like you lost. And that's a side shot.
Hitting all over the ball.
And that's a side shot. And that's a side shot. And what you lost?
I went.
Fair and square. You lost.
Cheers.
Fair and a lot square.
So,
Four
do you
chair.
want to see my alarms?
I want to play four square. My four chair.
So, this is all in
Oh my god.
Oh, and one was the ringtone of all of this.
We don't. Oh.
Okay.
That's gonna be the saddest.
There you go. After I'm done playing this, I'm gonna put my phone in bubbles. You should do the same thing.
You want some double bubble?
Well, either way, it's ridiculous.
I went to a birthday party.
I'm gonna go to a birthday party later today at Hulu's.
Oh, so you know Maya, right? You're Maya, Rafaela?
The fat one?
Sure. So he has a cousin
Do it,
exactly like you. Exactly in every single way. Bad.
So, Danny?
Really well.
I did. What part?
Why are the chairs like this?
Definitely need to
Inappropriate. Short. Fat.
spend the I think what I'm gonna do.
Like you in every way. Mexican.
Split the section
Why the chairs like
because there
this?
was like too much.
I think we're gonna be playing foursquare. I mean four chair.
Well, this would be a good time to answer that question since you thought of it.
That's when you jump around on
We're
chairs
gonna
and throw
talk
them
about
at
it, and then
Throw chairs at each other.
and I
Who are you, The Rock?
we're gonna talk about it later.
No, it started in the
Much simpler and yours like overview.
It's 11:02, so I'm gonna start this
And
till.
we'll split them out in time. And we'll just do overview QA because I want to get like the premise down, so later when we answer, I can refer back.
I think that everybody's like the first.
And I want to
The first
give
letter
them
name
what
or
seems like
the last
their
letter of Buddha
goal
Jang.
mode, which is I think the next
Chinese
question
Buddha,
is
Buddha Jang.
Right, and then just onion peels like an onion.
Buddha Jang.
seems to be
So this
when
is like a lot.
thinking.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not. They better not.
No, are they going to church?
And it will give us
Oh, if you're okay.
an excuse
You?
to
Who says few?
Yeah,
without actually
Yeah, of course.
what they want to ask.
right.
I'm sorry, her friends can't
Go
read.
quickly
Yeah.
as we try and cover everything
Stop.
as simply as possible. Like I love it.
You better turn
but it
the
also means
silent your phone.
never get through the whole structure.
Okay, but what are we doing with the
Here's,
chairs?
here's everything God has to say about that. Like I didn't finish section 2, we never touched section
Stop.
Yeah, and each one of the questions is a whole hour topic on itself, you know?
And that's why I like doing it. I love
I
those
probably
questions.
enjoy mine.
Yeah,
So
basically.
the other thing too is I think
I'm already at church.
now
You should tell your
figure out a
grandma
way,
to
and
drive.
I don't have to head yet planned, but a way
Okay, perfect.
to
Stop.
say,
That's not.
I hear that question, that's a good question. In a minute, we're gonna do small group time.
Stop.
That's give that question. That's an actual thing. You can ask
Nothing
that.
better to do
I
than go
think
to
you can
church
get that.
after
Maybe like
I think you can get it.
we write
Oh, I
those
just
down
recorded
if
this.
Right.
You just play songs by Ice Boy Ben.
And then
He says like 2 bad words.
Yeah, each group can have their own chit chat about that.
Wait, is that Caden?
No, some
Who is it?
that were like
Patterson?
groups, but I also don't want to lose my leaders into
that?
water.
Bro, that looks like
I
my
don't
mom
want
on
them
my leg.
Well, they asked in small group.
He looks just like you.
Right,
And I don't feel
In every way.
Which is fine too.
Why are you in the car?
Knowing your limitations.
Oh.
Yeah, so I want to give it out, but I
That was
also
really
want to
good.
provide
Okay.
an environment.
You know what's better when you
So
get
I'm
back
not
to
sure
Tahoe
exactly what
going
it
to
looks like,
church?
whether we do small groups first or second.
Don't put my phone away.
Wait, if you just went to Tahoe, then how is it gonna tell you the other day you were Danny?
Confederate, like that's a great question for small group. Or you know what? That's gonna be great. Let's write that down. Just gonna build our big group stuff.
Right.
What? Our three part is overview small group.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And it allows them to get their
If not, you should go to Danny's house and tell him to take.
energy and
Oh, he did? So he should be here soon?
distractive nature out in the small group.
Yeah, well, it's weird when you think about it, but
Oh,
like
that's good.
multi-threaded is the way my brain thinks about it.
Right.
I'm a
Okay.
computer guy.
But tell her I'm on the phone, okay?
5 out of 10 distracting.
Bye.
5 out of 10 kids are distracted.
His grandma owes me $100.
What?
His grandma
If
owes
you
me
stick all
$100.
10
Why?
kids in one
Because I
group,
gave her
each of the 5 takes a turn.
I'm not even kidding, too. They're rich.
Oh, what? Constant
So-
process. Yeah.
Me and Chris got
And if you
chicken
can
nuggets
split
from
them out, you you've got like, 5 groups of 2 or whatever, then
his baby brother wanted one.
there's like 5 instances
He would give one.
where all at once,
So
all
I
5
give one.
kids
You're able to get it.
something
I was
straight.
trying to.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
know I was gonna get
And
it.
it takes a fifth of the
I just did it
time.
because I didn't want to eat it anyway. And I was like,
Aiden.
nice. Here's $100.
You need a shirt that says "See me now." Put some stilts on. Come in through that door. See me now.
No. I'm gonna get a custom made shirt that has my picture on it. It says "See me now," and then the back's gonna say "See me later," and it's gonna be like 10 feet tall.
Not even that.
Nice shirt. Oh yeah. This is
No, you're just gonna have tall feet.
So this is me. This is my brother. This is my sister.
Since
This
when were
is
you
my dad.
sober?
Your dad? All my family.
Bro, you're this one.
We don't talk about this. Hey, I'm not the shortest one in my family, so.
Are you sure?
Who's the shortest?
Oh yeah, your little brother.
Yeah, my little
What's
brother.
his name? JJ.
I'm the tallest out of the kids. Taller than my sister.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No,
By
she's
half an
like
inch.
Babe,
here.
No,
remember
by
Mike
half an
Creek
inch. I'm taller.
when he was super
I'm
short?
pretty sure.
Yeah. Weston gave me $1.
Yeah, and then we didn't
19,
even recognize them
To
when
jump
we
on your sister and say,
Yeah.
"Right."
Where did you get that from?
I don't
How
know.
old are your siblings?
My brother is. We're all 3 years apart.
And your
Older
sister is
sister.
the oldest?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but Aiden's only 1, so
She's 16. My brother's 10.
your brother's negative too.
What?
Where'd you get that idea?
Well, you're just 1 with
Wait,
a
didn't
0.
you meet my brother?
What? I met JJ.
Oh.
Ugh. That child.
So you're gonna be 8th grade? Or
Sure.
freshman?
Okay, you should have came over. We were playing a lot of
In
Minecraft
high
before.
school, there's like a freshman.
You think I'm this tall gonna be a freshman? No.
Bro, you're never.
I had a friend in high school who was as tall as you and when we were in high school, all the way through high school, and then after high school.
Well, my sister is shorter than me, and she's a sophomore.
Well, there you
She'll
go.
let me
You
go to
just
the
proved
daycare.
your own point.
Well, hopefully
At the
I'll
gym?
grow
I
before
go to the
next year.
daycare.
Why? Wait, you can go to the daycare?
Yeah, I can. I'm still allowed to when old.
Judy
I'm
can go to the
short
daycare
enough.
at the gym.
I'm short enough. I could just
Do you
say
go
I'm
to the
a
daycare?
short dog.
Yeah, me and Maya. He can't go anymore because he's 13 now.
You're also
He's 12.
I don't think, I think you didn't like it anymore when you were like 11.
Yeah.
It is kind of awkward when there's like a bunch of little kids and you guys are just like,
And they walk up to you and
He
they
was
say,
always
"Uppies,"
awkward
and
for
you're like,
Caleb. He was always tall.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. People would look at him like, how old is he? I'm like, he's only 5.
A little girl asked me if I was 12
What?
when I was like 13.
Yeah, good work.
And then I realized
Was that little girl like
Put it in the drawer on
an
the
inch
side.
tall? Who asked you if you're 12?
Something like that.
I asked you if you're 8. That's about as I guess as far as I'm concerned.
Dude, my last name doesn't mean
Keep
tall.
looking where I'm pointing. Eventually you notice that.
Hey Siri,
It's a very,
What
very
does
hard to notice
blank
short for some reason.
Blank
With eyeballs, you can't see that. It's.
Where's the point of that?
hey Siri,
No, wait, Face ID? What's that mean?
your face identification.
Apple.
Oh, that was Simon.
Apple's bar.
Where's my dad?
What's slang mean? Last name slang. Why is the text so tiny? Look. Why do you have it so tiny? Why is it like so small you
That
can't
leg
read
needs
it?
long. I have. Yay!
I had no idea I was tall. I just went up to you.
Just a quick FYI, there is breakfast cereal on the counter. It is intended that you would eat it, as opposed to not notice it, look at it, or any of the other things you might do it with it. Or use it as a rug. Yes, it is not intended for rug use. It is intended for eating. Please do not steal it. Please pour yourself a bowl. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, don't grab boxes and run away. That is not accurately responding to what I have offered. Yeah, eat it with a bowl and milk and spoons. Or just dry, if you like it dry. It's like a good way to perpetually eat cereal.
Yeah, and then
Keep pouring more in the milk.
3 to 1. You got 2. Go in, go in. 4. That's no 4. 6. Oh, I blink every time.
we're gonna do small groups today. That's it. It's not a huge mystery or surprise or anything. It's kind of obvious. But yeah, we got 6 leaders eventually.
That bouncing is hard. Elliot. I'm not kidding. I didn't hit it below. I didn't hit it. I think I was hard. 6 right there. That's 2 and 3. That's right. It's 5 to 6. A 5? Back up. Oh, yes. I'm not playing. Your sister was here. I've been. Oh, so it's like I didn't see the red in my finger. I didn't hit it. I smashed my finger. I wasn't even playing that way. 11 to 8:30. No, I'm playing. Like towards the end of the Hold up. Okay, ready? No. Oh shoot. Stop fighting. Just leave it off and already. No, leave it off. Fly off.
Yes, it is intended to kill people. That's why it exists.
Oh, 3 to 0. Oh, 2 to 0. Fine.
That's why it's the world over. I'm done. I'm slow. I give up. Don't put any pressure on that leg. It's fine. Don't put any pressure. I'm playing against Simon. Calculated. Well, what? I'm gonna win. No. Oh, it hurts like this. No. I have bruises. Oh, that hurts. Okay, so the wrong person got the crutches. I was very confused for a second. I thought that. It's really hard to tell when someone steals someone's treasure.
Yes.
That's exactly going on.
Well, then I noticed the cast, but I hadn't seen that before. I don't know.
I'll play against him.
No, it's hard to
you say that now? Okay, it looks fine. Okay.
That's impressive. Can you grab my store chocolate? Your prince? Thank you.
Okay, I started watching Little House on the Prairie. I started calling my parents mom. But then I stopped.
There's yogurt too. Like that on the stove, or do you have to stick cheese on it? It's a little thinner, huh?
Good job.
Chair, yeah.
Well, I was wondering if I need to even grab any after that.
Right.
Good job, Krista.
What are you doing? Made eggs this morning. Donuts we got in church, and now Cocoa Puffs? You're gonna pay for that. All that sugar. I know, that's a lot of sugar.
I can't even eat donuts.
Yeah, I mean, I did a bite of loaves and got that, like, borderline nausea. Like, yeah, but I regret doing that.
No, please don't. I've never had it.
11-7.
What? I probably have.
You can give me like this, I can't do it. Simon!
Are these science things?
Come on.
Going to the side of it. Is there complications because of the points you brought? Like all three in separate grades, are you?
Yeah.
7 to 8.
Oh, you are?
11 to 8.
Okay, well maybe we'll bend the rules today. It's gonna... Right. We'll wait and see. I don't know what the head count is. Pre-proposed group.
Simon!
Let's, like, just so you know, temporary, split by, like I said, so that I can get the head count. And I can see which group is the smallest group. And I can that's likely true.
Do you really think I
No, keep in mind.
11 to 8, 9.
Okay, so just so you're clear, that is against policy. They are allowed to go to fourth grade class.
Know the person you're gonna met. Do we have to go down there now? I mean,
I didn't know she was going there. So for sixth grade. And then does that make sense? So she could with an adult, but you without an adult, as older cousins, siblings, friends, whoever, can go with her down to 12th grade. And that's-
yeah, you should take that back. You're not ready.
Does that make sense? Let me put it like this. Let me put it like this. If you bring up someone younger to an older class, is there a chance that things are not going to go well for, 500 different reasons? Versus how chill would you get bigger? Does that kind of make sense? Like, way less things could go wrong. Way less things. Sorry guys, I didn't know. I get short middle scores all the time, so I don't want to make assumptions.
No, you didn't want it, bro. No, you didn't want it. You didn't want the donut. You ate the donut. Don't want to wrestle, bro. Next thing I don't want the donut.
Don't pick me up. This is abusive.
You got
This is
something.
racially motivated.
Stand way back here.
That's right.
Yeah, there it is. Right
It's
there.
like 12 a.m.
Yeah, there it is.
This is
There.
abuse, that's racially. What does that even mean? Eden!
Put your shirt on inside out. The seam's hanging out.
The abuse that's racially motivated, is it cannibalism too?
50-50.
Just thought I'd ask.
I don't care. Oh, no, change it.
Why do you have 3 alarms? What are the ones in the morning for?
She'll eat the dust part.
Wait.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, breakfast time has nearly drawn to a close, and now it's time to find your circles. So we're going to do groups as best we can by age and grade and gender. So we're going to go on this side with the pool table, air hockey tables is the girls' side, and the side over there with the screen is the guys' side. And we're going to put 6th grade closest to the door, 7th grade in the middle, 8th grade over here.
No, I'm moving.
Is that making any sense? Judah didn't get it. Sorry, Judah. You're in the wrong spot. So, girls on the pool table, air hockey table side, guys on the screen side, 6th grade towards the door, 7th grade in the middle, 8th grade on this side.
On time.
So this is 8th grade girls. That's 7th grade girls.
And that's 6th.
And that's 6th grade girls. And then Caleb's at 8th grade boys. Middle of the room basically is 7th grade boys. And the corner by the kitchen is 6th grade boys.
Yeah. Here.
Caleb.
8th grade girls.
Yeah.
7th grade girls. 6th grade girls.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Wow, we have a lot of 8s.
Confusing.
And very little 7th.
Probably the only 8th grader.
Won't be after.
So we're gonna adjust now.
Dang it!
You're not in 8th grade.
I was in which grade by heart, so I didn't know what our numbers would be. You want to be in 7th? You want to be in 6th?
Can I be in 6th grade?
We can do 2 girl groups, that's fine. I think we have few enough. It might be better with 3, maybe just slightly different here. But sure, just about swinging. You should have to bring a drum.
Because it's just us.
Great. We'll just end up with double leaders in one. That's just
There you go.
I have black hair.
So the answer is yes.
This kid has been
I wonder what the age
he has
distribution would
nobody
look like.
to sit with.
Okay, so?
So we're just missing 7th grade entirely?
I just thought
Sacred.
it's just
I was in 8th grade.
Group next year?
Caleb, that's 8.
So we won't have the 8th grade?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but she's not in
Sure, we may, but you
I mean,
know.
we could.
Yeah, if it was in 8th grade, I would.
Yeah.
That was
Crazy.
She's like 10 years old.
How about we have a leader?
No, he's not.
I'm in.
Alright, I'm only 3.5.
I'm 4.
I just skipped a couple grades because I learned English.
Plus, I don't want to be the only one over there.
Did you say you skipped a couple grades because
I like that.
Can we replace Sean with Judah? He's taller.
Looks like Judah is Sean.
Hi, Daddy, Sean. I call him Sean.
I don't. Wait, why is someone named Sean Dean?
His name is Sean.
No, but they're Dean and Sean are both the same way.
all right, leaders. Pick a group. Don't play favorites. Just ask yourself.
We have an empty seat.
Do we have no 7th grade boys? I find this hard to
we
believe.
have no 7th grade at all?
Well, no, I know one 7th grader left 7th grade because she was the only 7th grader.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that part.
She was the lone 7th grade girl. So yeah, leaders, you can double up on one of the groups, whichever one's bigger.
How do you spell
Are you just doing the leaders group?
S-H-A-W-N.
I'm just talking to myself. S-E-A-N.
Oh yeah, they're so.
Oh, S-H. I'm very interesting. So I've heard.
I'm pretty sure there's 2 6th grade boys and 2 7th grade boys. I think we should leave those groups separate. I feel as though
I feel like that's a good idea too.
they should be separate. Hey,
Kev, stop being so rude.
Give an A-Y.
7th and 6th grade boys, I did not tell you to group up. You guys can split back out. 7th grade should be in the 7th grade spot, 6th grade should be in the 6th grade spot. I let the girls group up because they asked me, and I said yes. So 7th grade boys, you can move to the 7th grade spot.
Judah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Great.
Leaders, when you are done with numbers 18 and small group discussion time, I have sent you a Kahoot to do as a group in the group chat. So make sure you're done with your whole small group discussion.
Judah.
Jim, you should answer this.
I should take it?
Yeah.
Your phone is blowing up.
It's a great ringtone.
Oh, it's an alarm.
It's an alarm. I can't answer an alarm.
There's another one too.
That's lovely.
It's going off on 2 phones.
It's almost like they planned it. It's almost like they should not get to play phone bucket today. They just don't get to win.
Oh, it's worse than that.
Oh no! Who is this? Who is this?
What does it say?
It's like an every 15-minute alarm through church service and only through church service. You are so out of the phone bucket. You are so out of the phone bucket. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep these.
Wait, what?
Oh, you did the same thing.
One alarm. And that was for candy.
It's a good song.
Didn't find out.
Alright, so leaders,
Every 15 minutes.
leaders, for the rest of this week, so this includes today and Friday, Aiden is banned from the snack bar.
Like every single.
Oh!
Banned from the snack bar.
Oh no,
And if Judah's phone goes off again, is there a second alarm on here?
What?
Does your phone have more than one alarm?
I can show you.
During church service? Intentionally? That's it. Is there all of them? Yeah. Okay, cool. Good. Huh? That's great. Good to know. Alrighty. I'm gonna jump into this group.
She was, I forgot, she was sitting on the steps
I'm
earlier.
less needed
by
over here.
herself.
It's 7.
Yeah, but
Cool beans.
You're over here, 7th grade.
I need my 7th grade boys.
I'm skipping grade, so technically I'm still at 6.
Technically, it's
I also
I'm skipping back a grade.
That's 8th grade math.
Not how that works.
This is high grade.
Numbers 18.
I have faith in your bipedal ability to
Daniel, can we please group up? We asked you.
Can you move?
Can we please group up to 6th graders? Because they look pretty lonely.
Give me my.
No.
My number 13.
This is it. How are you doing? Alright, boys. Let's read.
like nauseous. Or not.
Okay.
This is not yours. This is his. You took it off.
I don't know. I didn't know. You put it under my
No luck, Daniel. Thanks. Okay. Just pray. Alright, guys. Number 18. Alright. Who's reading the verse?
Sacred?
You took it off my Bible.
Did you turn off your sign? We're getting 1% off.
Yes, I did. I didn't just catch them.
How did you know how to
The
get
Lord
my
said
phone?
to Aaron,
I didn't have to.
You,
Jeremiah
your
did.
sons, and your relatives in the tribe of Levi will be held responsible for any offenses related to the sanctuary. But you and your sons alone will be held responsible for violations.
I was gonna say.
Page 128.
And you should take all his money.
Alright, so number 18. Alright, who'd like to
You
read
and your
verse
sons
1 through 7?
alone will be held responsible for violations of your priesthood.
You wanna read? Well, go for it.
Bring your relatives to the tribe of Levi. Bring your relatives of the tribe of Levi, your ancestral tribe, to assist you and your sons as you perform the sacred duties under the tabernacle of the
Then
covenant.
the Lord said to Aaron,
But as the Levites go about all their assigned duties at the tabernacle, they must be careful not to touch any of the sacred objects or the altar.
but you and your sons
Both
relate
you
to
and
the
they will
sanctuary.
die.
But you and your sons
The Levites must join in fulfilling their responsibilities for the care and maintenance of the tabernacle.
Bring your
But
relatives.
no unauthorized person may assist you. You yourselves must perform the sacred duty inside the sanctuary and at the altar. If you follow these instructions, the Lord's anger will never again blaze against the people of Israel. I myself have chosen your fellow Levites from among the Israelites to be your special assistants. They are a gift to you, dedicated to the Lord for your service in the tabernacle. But you and your sons, the priests, must personally handle all the priestly rituals associated with the altar and with everything behind the inner curtain. I am giving you the priesthood as your special privilege of service. Any unauthorized person who comes to you in the sanctuary will perform the
Sacred duties inside the sanctuary on my side. If you follow these instructions, the Lord's anger will never begin. No, I myself have chosen your fellow Levites from among the Israelites to be your special assistants. They are a gift to you, dedicated to for service in the tabernacle. But you and your sons, the priests, must personally handle all the priestly rituals associated with the altar and with everything behind the inner curtain. I am giving you the
You see an
priesthood
instance of
as
God
special
giving
privilege
authority
of
and
service.
accountability
Any
together.
unauthorized person who comes to me
He said right here,
will be put to death. Period.
he said to Aaron that your sons
A lot.
and your relatives
I have a lot of spit in my
on
mouth.
the tribe are responsible for any offense related to the sanctuary.
You spit yours mine in the trash.
It's kind of
You spit yours in the trash.
I know, but
Like
I've
to-
never
Technically, no. This is all the candy I got.
You guys don't actually
They're gonna be
need
possible for adults.
He does not.
It's good for my teeth.
that can be true.
Can be.
It can be, and it is good.
What's the authority?
Except that I'm not supposed to chew.
I'll give you my sacred
I
paper.
said can.
Deal.
Trade you a sacred flower.
It says,
What?
you actually
some numbers.
tribe to Levi and
I'd say
ancestral tribe to assist you and your son.
Alright guys, what's question one? After we finish one seven.
Can you see an instance of
Set
God giving?
apart a
So
salt.
Lord gave Aaron
Can you see an instance
Read verses.
of God giving authority
the sons and
and
relatives of the
ability
tribe
together in this passage? Question mark.
to assist
I'm
with
gonna
the
pay attention.
Ooh.
what's that say? What's gonna be?
That means you have to read it
Oh,
again.
the tabernacle.
Our prize for the hoot today is a big prize.
So
When we're doing a Kahoot, is it about
he's kind of like giving
It
you
is.
authority to
That's
help them.
after that.
Help
So what if you
you
don't know how to read or write well?
tabernacle.
I don't know how to read, but I know how to write.
Also, I'm not really good at paying attention when I'm reading it. So.
That's I
just called the
struggle with this
tabernacle.
myself. I have to read multiple times sometimes. It helps sometimes for me to do questions like this because
So maybe Asian
I
politics first.
go back and just find the answer, and that's what really starts like suck it in.
We're seeing
I'm actually trying to like answer
that,
questions as I read.
At least when I'm
I'm
reading,
looking,
that's what I'm
I'm
reading.
looking
The
to.
Lord said to Aaron,
So I
you,
remember
your sons,
Aaron-
and your relatives
Okay,
from the tribe
cool.
of Levi.
So the question is
Held
authority and
responsible for any
accountability
offensive
together.
sanctioned. But
So
you and your sons
accountability.
I'm thinking ability.
held responsible for
Well,
violations.
yes, I know you're being stupid about it, but yes,
That's
actually.
what it is.
It's accounting ability.
No, not quite.
There
So
are
think
some
about this.
offenses that are going to
You're the guy at the register at the store.
that everyone's
You're the
responsible
worker who runs the cash register.
Like my wants teacher.
Sure. And so, you know, the shift
Sons are gonna be
starts,
responsible.
and the boss sets you up to do the tray money. He says, okay, you're starting out with $100 broken up,
But then he's
into,
saying on
you know,
top of
5
that,
to 20s.
there's
So at the end of the
this
shift,
certain set
your
of
receipts
offenses
should total,
that only Aaron and his son
you know,
will
the
be
same
held
amount
responsible for.
plus 100, and that'll be the. I'm starting you off with $100 a change. So your total receipts
What is
should come
different
up
about
to
Aaron and his son?
total plus $100, and that should equal what's in the total. If at the end of the shift, he counts your receipts and
Why
your
do
money
they have a
drawer,
greater level of
and it's off
responsibility
by 20,
than all the
who's he
other
gonna hold
offenses?
accountable? It's like the person who has to make an account for what took place.
It's okay.
The person who is on the line if the accounts are off. Does that make sense? It's you who ran the drawer. Now, the customer reached around and grabbed it, but that's still on you, because you are supposed to close the drawer whenever you are not operating the drawer. You're supposed to immediately shut the drawer. But if someone is able to reach around and grab a 20, it's because you left the drawer. So even though the culprit, let's say,
So,
might not
can
be
you
found,
think of a New Testament,
this isn't
New
necessarily
Testament
guilty.
mirror to the differing jobs given to Aaron?
So kind of similar, like if say one nurse night we tried to get the lights too low,
Like,
and
are there structures like this
slammed into a chair?
Should be on here.
Yeah, I didn't
Are
trip
there
him.
areas where
I
certain
didn't push him into the chair. He
a
chipped his
greater
tooth
level
at
of
my
authority
authority.
and also a greater
Well,
level
that could only be aimed because I
It was years ago, it was before you. So yeah, I was the one the parents held accountable for the fact that he chipped his tooth. He didn't turn the lights down. Where do you see? I didn't trip him,
I can't think of a lot.
but I did too.
And
So,
he tripped himself.
so I wasn't at fault, but I was accountable.
yeah.
So,
What happened?
he got to go to a dentist and they put on like a fake piece of tooth where the chip was. Oh no, it was years ago. None of these guys.
Did you get like
I
sued?
don't think something could be.
No.
Did you still see it then?
When you received from the.
Forgot I did that.
Did you still, were you married to your wife?
Probably. There was only like half a year where I was doing middle school and I was married. I got married right after I started singing.
Yeah, for 10 years. It was like the other day. And Jeremiah went on their anniversary.
Can you see this?
Alright, so what's the next, what's the answer to that question?
Oh, the answer is Jeremiah and Clement.
So, think about,
Okay.
in the New Testament, is there a
Instance
greater
of
level
when
of responsibility?
Yes, you can.
Aaron to the preaching.
Better at preaching, not quite.
I think it's when
Or because I think all like they hide
Giving them
like
Moses
from the Old Testament, they all of like Moses and him.
when he gives him
They were and
it's not really served, like, yes, like helpers, the Levites.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, where's the accountability? If there's the authority, you found that,
right,
right? He's given an entire
God like everything.
Pretty sure you did.
Oh yeah, and then when he
Which thing? Which that's generically true, but like which thing?
I know it.
So there's a point in here where he says, if you do this wrong, it's on you. Does that make sense? That's true. Where is he saying that? Where is he saying if you do this wrong, it's on you? Or if they do it wrong, then it's on you too.
But imagine like, for a second,
all the whole year people like Abraham and Moses, they had some jobs because they actually are listening to every single thing I told them.
There's actually more than one. So the end of verse 1 says that you and your sons alone will be responsible
stuff in the
for
New Testament
violations
about
connected to the
how
priesthood.
there's this idea.
teachers
So if someone does something wrong in the priesthood,
they have more responsibility and more
it's going to be the guys at the top
what
of
they do and say.
the head priest is going to be the one responsible for all the other priests. And so if one of the priests messes up, it's on the head priest's head.
Like they're going to be held to account.
Likewise, later it says that
how they
if
lead.
the
glory and
people go somewhere they're not authorized to go, it's on the priest. So that the non-priests, the Levites who are just serving, they're not allowed to go into certain places. And it's up to the priest to make sure of that. So the priests have the authority over them, but they also have the responsibility to show them what is right, keep them doing the right thing. Because, and you listen twice in this, the punishment if you screw this up is death.
What they say.
Follows his guide yet?
No, because he's right.
Following their actions and trying to act as
Okay.
He might have just known.
Yeah, Aaron's family, because Aaron and Moses are brothers,
that's
they
where
need
I
to
go.
become priests. So only Aaron is descendant. So even though Moses is related, he's family, he's not a descendant of Aaron, and so he can't be a priest.
Who wants to take
It was a little weird because Moses does like a little bit of everything. But he's classified as a prophet, not a priest.
He's classified as.
Okay, another question. Can you think of a New Testament mirror for the differing jobs given to priests and Levites? Because the priests and Levites were all part of the same big family, but they couldn't do the same jobs.
Levites were only allowed to be priests. And jobs, priests and not priests.
Yeah, we're like servants and stuff. Yeah, so like now we're taking that idea of like you're just given a certain role. You didn't necessarily pick it, it was just given to you. Can you think of a New Testament mirror for that? Like how does that happen today with
A
Christians?
biochemist.
Sure, someone would be given a job as a biochemist, but they're probably asking for it. It's very rare that a random guy in the street hey you kid, come here. Won't you be a biochemist?
Slavery?
Yeah, that's bad. So, can you think of a New Testament, a Christian example of someone just being given a job that they didn't necessarily ask for? And like someone next to them might get a different job, and they didn't necessarily ask for that one?
But they still do it?
Like when
Yeah.
Moses is told to go speak to Pharaoh,
That's a really good example. That is Old Testament though.
and then he Old Testament.
Yeah. So this is Old Testament. Remember Old Testament, the story you just mentioned, that's Old Testament. The question is, can you think of a New Testament instance?
Could it be something today?
Like a Christian, it could be today, yeah.
Oh, and that guy has to go fish for
About 20 minutes ago?
Sure.
You asked me to speak?
He keeps getting here early on Saturdays. I keep asking this week. He keeps doing it.
Swooping here?
Yeah, he sweeps the hall.
Oh, the hall. I thought you were
He keeps getting here early. Everyone else keeps doing it.
I thought you were just playing as a joke, like sweep this and waiting to
When I started sweeping, Krista walked up.
Oh, no, the hallway. Yeah, the hallway always gets like random bark chips from the playground and all kinds of junk on it.
Probably Judah.
Yeah, also,
I think it's actually the school kids.
What's that?
Because they like go out past the playground to get to the lawn for recess and they come back again.
I don't think I just got out of the park and then just grabbed it.
So like inside of Christianity, God gives you guys gifts. He gives me gifts. He gives changers. He gives girls gifts. And these spiritual gifts are not necessarily always something that we ask for. And likewise, He gives us jobs. Sometimes the job is something we totally want. Sometimes it's something we absolutely do not want. But it's just ours now. Like we can resist it. We can accept it, we can love it, we can share it, but like, He just gives us jobs as Christians, and that just happens. And so it's like the priests and the Levites, where like, you're just born a Levite, or you're just born, gonna be a priest one day, like, that's just something that was set based on who your parents were. Like, you had no choice in it. It was just what you were. And that's kind of a weird thing, but at the same time, it comes from God. He put that call on you. So the question is, not is it good or bad? Because like, it came from Him, I know it's good. The question is, will you accept it? Will you take it? Or look, just no, shove it away.
So, like, first of all, you know when we're going to camp?
Camp?
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you, or is that the question?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, July 18th, I think? 13th, one of those numbers. It's a Monday. It's February now.
No, it's March now.
Oh, it's March now, you're right. It was February.
Yeah,
Just a few days ago, it was the 6th.
So like 5 months?
Well, no, it's more like 4.5.
Yeah, it was
So 4.5 months apart.
Are you going to be working really hard to get to camp?
I already can go to camp, but I also have $100 in it.
You've been saving up.
Yeah, I have a job.
So when you say hardship, you mean like patiently waiting.
Excellent. Thank you.
So, do you remember why the
Well, it's good that you
Israelites
already saved up or something. I thought you said you were going to have to be saving up.
I have to save so much money.
Do you remember why the Israelites owed God their firstborn?
Alright, so let's read the next few verses.
I had an example.
Oh, go for it.
Like when that one guy is fishing and the men.
Yeah.
I keep getting up every stuff with the.
There's some times where that has happened. I'm not sure what we're talking about.
That he got it. Fishers and
I don't know
men.
why.
Whatever that.
So like, he was told he wanted to be a fisher of men. Is that,
Yeah, that's like job.
that's like a job. Yeah.
Fishing for men.
That's a great example, actually. Because like Peter was happy just fishing for fish.
Maybe he
Then God fished for
Then you got something out here.
I got another plate.
So does that mean God fished for fish?
No, he fished for fishermen.
He fished for salt.
Which I'm sure they probably were fishy. So it's kind of hard to be a fisherman and not be fishy. Alright, let's read the next section.
You must
guys want this one,
always
or should I read
return
it?
to
Should I read the long one?
I think Aiden should read it because he deserves it.
Yeah, all of them are
He's
short.
saying, yes, they
Then the one
belong to
you
me,
did
but I want you to.
Judah.
Like, third ones are really short. But second
I don't
section.
want
Okay, go Aiden.
No.
Alright, so the Lord gave these further instructions to Aaron. I myself have put you in charge of all the holy offerings that are brought
just
to
to be
me
clear,
by the
that
people.
is not what we're
I have
talking
given
about.
all these consecrated offerings
not
to
talking
you
about,
and your sons as your permanent share. You are allotted the portion of the most holy offerings that is not burned on the fire. This portion of all the most holy offerings, including the grain offerings, sin offerings, and guilt offerings, will be most holy.
You're actually on
and
the
it
right track.
belongs to you and your sons. You must eat it as a most holy.
Oh, because in the Passover,
All
like,
the males may eat it, and you must treat it as a most
So when the Passover, they
all the
said
sacred
that if
offerings
you
and special offerings presented to
frame
the
them before,
Israelites lift
and
them
the
up
angel will
before
come
the
and kill
altar
your firstborn
also
son.
belong to you. I have given them to you and to your sons and daughters as your purpose. Any member of your family who is ceremonially clean of these offerings. I also give you the harvest gift by the people as offerings to the Lord. Best of the olive oil, new wine, and grain. All the first fruits of the land and the offerings presented to the Lord belong to you. Any member of your family who is ceremonially clean may eat of this food.
So I can't tell. Sometimes they have a hard time different.
Everything in Israel that is specially set apart to the Lord also
Are they the same or are they
belongs
supposed
to
to
you.
be
The firstborn of every mother,
Yeah.
whether human or animal, that is offered to the Lord will be yours.
Animal.
You must always redeem
Okay,
your
so
firstborn
it is the
sons
past
and the firstborn ceremonially clean.
God said,
Ceremonially unclean
since he
animals.
spared their
Redeem them when they are 1 month old. The redemption price is 5 pieces of silver, as measured by the weight of the sanctuary shekel, which equals 20 euros. However, you may not redeem the
find
firstborn
anything
of cattle,
sacred
sheep, or goats. They are holy and have been set apart for
We all
the
know
Lord.
what sacred
Sprinkle
means.
their blood on the whole definition
Not
of fat on the other side of your
Okay.
face. Pleasing aroma to the Lord.
Like,
The
put in
meat
the
of these
blood on
animals
the
will be
sword.
just like the breast and right thigh that are presented by lifting them
You
up
want
as
to
a
just
special
read through the definition
before the altar.
while we're at it?
I'm giving you all these holy offerings that the people of Israel bring to the Lord. They are for you and your sons and daughters to be eaten as your permanent share. This is an eternal and unbreakable covenant between the Lord and you, and also applies to your descendants. And the Lord said to Aaron, you priests will receive no allotment of land or share of property from the people of Israel. I am your share and your allotment. The tribe of Levi, your relatives, I will compensate them for their service for now. Instead of an allotment of land, I will give them the tithes from the entire land
And
of
they
Israel.
basically use that as a sign of assurance that they basically use the blood on the Lord as a sign that you know that they're listening to God.
So like, yeah.
Doesn't matter what, like, if God's the way to do anything.
I know, but like,
Good. You can listen.
Sounds like you can't breathe. Do you need some like mouth to mouth or something?
Pretty sure he's dying. I think we need a medic here.
No, it doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
she's just like,
I didn't know.
Like while you were reading,
obey me.
you were like
Well,
murder animals,
I
and
won't
then he
take your
like
first one
made
step
your face,
What?
like
on the dole.
Was it this face?
And it was the Williams squad.
kind of.
Was that one?
He was like with one eye
Like,
paying
the other
attention
end
to
of
the
the
other.
I think it was just the one.
Yeah.
No, I look up because I see him like crying over there.
I was dying.
From what?
So here's a
Why-
quote in this
This one
passage
reaches back a
that
few
stands
years.
out to you.
Wait,
as
I
Do you
sacred.
remember? Oh, you have a question?
Well,
Go for it.
well, actually, I can.
Okay. I'm just
What
gonna ask
about
you
this
remember,
passage? What
why
stands
did
out to you
God, God, their
as
firstborn
being
animals
sacred?
and children?
Oh,
In here they reference what to do with them, but why?
But because it's an example of Jesus.
How?
Because like sacrificing.
Need something?
But like
Please.
specifically in this passage that we just read.
Oh.
Like their first
So verse
born,
8.
like,
What's in there that's sacred?
like their firstborn perfect calves.
But why? Why is that owed to
To
God?
sacrifice their sins.
Well, interesting. I can kind of see where you would relate that to Jesus because he's the firstborn. He was sacrificed for sins. The sin sacrifice did not have to be
So
a firstborn.
he's saying that so
The two separate concepts.
Looking at-
There's two concepts. There's one
set
where
apart
I'm sacrificing
this
for a
person.
reason. So like, I need to say I'm sorry.
Set
I want
apart
to
by
say thank
Solomon,
you.
which is ceremony.
I want to just cleanse myself.
have
I'm dirty. I want
right
to clean.
before all the
You know,
stuff about
purpose
firstborn
sacrifices.
says,
And then there's this
everything in
other
Israel
thing,
that is
totally
specifically
separate, and
set
it's
apart for the
you
Lord
owe me your
also
firstborn.
belongs to you.
It's like God gave his firstborn.
So-
Is it something?
But he hadn't yet. So like,
It's talking about
Evidence.
it wouldn't
that
make
were
sense
set
to me.
apart.
Does that make sense? Like,
for-
he hasn't done it yet. This is Old
And then it goes
Testament.
into
Jesus
talking
dies on the
about
cross.
how
Like, way the heck over
the
here.
firstborn of every
These guys are
mother,
all
whether
dead.
human or animal, that is
Well,
offered
you
to
don't
the
know that.
Lord.
I mean,
Yes, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes.
We don't know
Moses literally does in the book of Deuteronomy. Like,
Ceremony
It
unto
doesn't say he's dead, it just says he did.
So he's saying that the firstborn
He was like Elijah,
are set
he died
aside
before.
for the Lord.
And I also
And so, yes, they are
we
sacred.
both are alive.
okay. So first, I just want to say that
There's also in verses 9 and 10,
because God gave
talking about how the priests have an allotment of the offerings, saying,
Bring the cereal.
you are allotted the portion of the most holy offerings that is not burned on the fire.
Come on.
All the most holy offerings, including the grain offerings, the sin offerings, and the guilt offerings.
God gave
Please don't choke
Belong
on
to
cereal
you.
everywhere. I will be so grossed out.
So
God gave us everything,
most holy,
and that means
kind of a synonym of
everything
sacred,
is
right?
his.
Sure. Then why would it only be first? Why would
Okay.
Could be short.
I don't know that.
that? Well, okay. This gets to the
What
heart
is
of it.
making
Like, this
these things
specific
sacred?
request. You owe me every firstborn. Give them to me, or buy them. It's like the second option, giving them to God.
And then stay careful.
Okay.
If God gives everything, everything that God has given us is sacred.
Or you like moving to second.
So if everything, because God is sacred,
Yeah.
so everything, he basically, I feel like everything would be sacred, and he gives us, because he gives us everything from God.
That was true back when everything was perfect. So in the garden, yes, I totally agree. Then there's this weird thing that happened, and that's that it's
So what
If everything's sacred, nothing is sacred.
well, that's a special word.
Commanding
Special means
all the
sacred doesn't mean
things that got off
you
me.
can go back. In some contexts, something
God
sacred
can
is
do all
special
the things
because
that
there's nothing else like it.
He's like, they're not just doing this just to do it. Like,
You're wrong
God
about
tells them
everything's sacred, nothing's sacred. Because sacred doesn't mean special. Sacred things are usually special.
So the answer that I would give
Because in reality, not only but in reality,
they all belong to God. That's what makes them sacred.
most things aren't sacred anymore, and that's to do with sin. We've destroyed, we've marred, we've broken, we've made things uglier than they started when God gave them to us. And so there are some things that have survived and remain sacred,
Who wants to take
even
verses
though
22
there's sin
through
involved.
24?
But there's a lot of things that have just not really kept their sacredness. And on top of that, there's things we've invented that never had sacredness to begin with.
Oh, toilets.
Like dogs.
It's the most ridiculous versions of the answer. Okay, so first off, the reason why
Bottom
every
of
firstborn
the
of God
left
goes back to
column on
Egypt,
page
where Moses goes to talk to Pharaoh, is let my people go. He goes through 10 plagues, like 1 for 9, is like, I do a bad thing. There's like a lot of the nation, and I aim really good. Like that was the way God did the first 9 plagues. Like, I will cause horrible, awful things to happen to the Egyptians, and they won't happen to the Israelites. Like, perfect auto aim. And then he gets to plague 10. And he says, plague 10 is different, guys. Plague 10, I'm not going to aim for you. Plague 10, I'm going to give everyone an out, but everyone's automatically in. The Egyptians are going to get punished, and the Israelites are going to get punished. This one has to be extra fair. Everyone's going to have this punishment on them, unless they show their faith, unless they do as I tell them. And what he told them was, cook a lamb for dinner, spread the lamb's blood on the doorpost. This lamb is a personal household sacrifice for your house. And he spared firstborn of every family that did this. And all these families that did this, Egyptian or not, families that didn't do it, they lost their firstborn sons and their firstborn animals. All the firstborns died.
I wonder what the Egyptians would think if she bled on the doorpost of.
Well, but it was announced. It wasn't a secret, do this or die. It was announced publicly.
To the Egyptians too?
To the Egyptians too. So they still would have thought it weird, but they wouldn't have wondered why they were doing it. They at least would have understood the reason. They might not have believed it was true, but after the first 9 plagues, I feel like some Egyptians would have been like, alright guys, we're not telling our neighbors we're doing it, because they're going to think we're weird, but we're doing it. Like, we're going to use the back door. We're going to spend on the back door.
Yeah,
We're totally doing it. It's like the first 9 plagues are pretty convincing. It's hard to believe you can experience those plagues and think like, this isn't that bad. So yes, Israel was granted their firstborn by God at Bethlehem. And he says from this point on, I own your firstborn. You want them back, you actually ought to buy them back. And this counted for all the humans, all the animals, everything. So that was the rule of the firstborn. Then the next question is, can you find anything sacred in these verses? So if you don't know what sacred is, you can flip over. I went and found the old Merriam-Webster definition of sacred, because they tried to make it extra super duper politically correct now in their modern dictionary, and it's still decent. It's not a horrible. No more breakfast. You're done.
This will
I literally said before we started 12 years, this is it for breakfast.
I know. This is a breakfast.
I said.
Yeah, this is disobedience.
Yeah, you should just talk to Aiden about that.
Is that
I'm
fair?
participating.
Okay, what is sacred?
Sacred means solemnly part of my
talk to
religious,
Aiden, go.
especially since.
Wait, Judah, Israelites, don't follow the bad example.
Yeah, Judah.
This is lunch.
That is literally what he said. You're following a bad example.
It means literally a tenth. So a tenth.
Wow, Judah. Stop following my bad example.
Who did they owe a tenth to?
That's what you expected. That's what you hoped for. Where are you going now? Oh, he's gone. Thank you for putting in the trash.
Should Judah want to
I'll just stick them under my chair instead.
Alright, so do you guys have your own version of the definition of sacred?
We should have the
Or the Levites.
actually, yes.
Because the priests are a lot of people that
like
have
that.
because they're
So there's a move in Pokemon Go, the Mahonage or whatever.
Yeah.
It's called Sacred Sword.
You mean Hone Edge?
The stick. I call it the stick.
It's literally a sword that's named Hone Edge.
So it's called Sacred Sword. And it pulls out a sword and it slashes them. And it's sacred.
Wait, so your sword pulls out a sword?
Hey, it's not reality, Judah. This is
You don't know that.
All the rules that swords aren't Pokemon?
Well, actually,
They're not supposed to be.
So
I mean,
we're
at this
talking
point, I
about
wouldn't be surprised if we
two
trash
forgetting
before.
who did the Israelites owe a tithe?
Garbodian.
Is it already existent?
Garboater? Or nose pass?
Garbodian is a metal nose.
That's this point.
So-
Like, there's Pokemon for things now that shouldn't even.
Yeah, so
It
verse
shouldn't
24, because I have given them,
Pokemon?
the Levites will receive no allotment of land
I
among
actually have it.
because I have given and then the Israelites tithe.
Look at the word sacred. Set apart by solemn ceremony, especially in a good sense, made holy. Set apart
Who is the tithe given to?
Consecrated,
the Israelites
not
give their
profane
tithe to?
or common, and as a sacred place,
And then
or
God
a sacred
gives it
day,
to
or a sacred service. Those are examples. Another definition. It's not
How could the Levites receive something that God had declared sacred?
It's designated or
They're going to use
exalted
it.
to be. Sorry, designated or exalted by divine sanction. This is critical. This is really where sacredness comes from. God grants it.
So looking back,
He makes things
verse 14 again.
So it's by
Everything in
divine
Israel that is
so
specially set
sanction
apart
is
for
basically
the
the issue
belongs to you. He's talking to the Levites
issued
and
as a
saying,
decree. That's
hey,
sanction.
everything that is given to God
Possessing the highest title to obedience,
belongs
honor,
to the
reverence, and veneration, entitled to
So God is
extreme
including
reverence.
them
I
in
love that part of that definition. Entitled
ownership of the
to
things
extreme
that are
reverence.
given
So
to
that
God.
means it is owed respect. It doesn't ask for it. It's owed.
Caleb,
Does
you
that
want
make
to
sense?
take
Like,
verses 25
some people have to
through
ask
32?
for respect, some people have to earn respect, but something that is sacred is owed
We also said to Moses,
respect.
give these instructions
You
to
have
the
a debt
Levites.
to it.
Money you receive from the people of Israel.
So, like,
the
taxes?
tithes they have signed.
Yeah, basically. You don't have to like.
Give a tenth
Well,
of the
kind
tithe
of like
receive the
taxes,
tithe of
almost.
the tithe.
It's like
As a sacred offering.
it's like a black
The
hole.
Lord will consider
Like a
this
black
offering to
hole
be a harvest
doesn't have to
harvest
interact
offering,
with something
as though
to
it
create
were
a
the
gravitational
first
pull on it.
as-
It just
as though it were the
has
first
a
grain from your
gravitational
own
pull.
threshing floor.
So that means
It's just like it's own
Land from your own
state of being just naturally has a effect on things around it.
Oh, like when I put Aiden in the black hole, but he was already so small.
Yes.
He didn't even go.
Pretty sure get all.
You should give
Adam-
the Lord the
Adam
portion
can go
of
to
the
a black
gifts
hole
given to you.
and get bigger.
Also,
So,
give these instructions
sometimes-
But your name's not
Levites.
Nope.
When you present the best
You
part,
don't know that. Have you seen my birth certificate?
Pronounced
Adam Jr.
Have you ever seen my birth certificate?
So now go back to the question guys on number 18. Can we find anything sacred in these
Lord
verses?
compensation for
Verses
serving
are
the tabernacle. Did it go through for
What's your
accepting the
Bible?
Lord's tithe which we
8 to
give to
21.
the
Do you see anything sacred?
Be careful not to chew the holy gifts of the Lord.
Judah!
You can't blame the dog.
Israel
That's the idiot.
There were 3 warnings of a death penalty in this chapter. Verses 3, 22, and 32.
Judah!
Judah!
Your face is like
Now he is the dog.
I already had it in me.
So let's go on to
If
verse
you get sick later this afternoon, you know why.
So verse 3,
Pretty sure he already has
Levites
diabetes.
know about all their assigned duties in the tabernacle. They must
Yeah, it
be
doesn't make
careful
sense.
not
What
to
is
go
it?
too near
Phase
any
one.
of the
What about that guy from
sacrifices
Deadpool?
of the altar. If they do,
No,
both you
he has
and
diabetes on it. I know the guy.
verse 22.
That's my uncle.
Okay,
From
My
now
uncle's
on, no Israelite except priests or
look through the
Levites
verses
will
real fast.
approach the
Anything sacred?
tabernacle. If they come too near, they will be judged guilty and
Yeah,
die.
Holy offerings that are brought by the
Verse
people of Israel.
32.
That's one of them.
You will not
I was gonna
let's
say,
go!
Aiden, no, you stole
That's a
mine.
good answer.
Good, yeah.
You stole it from me.
Yeah, I'm faster.
Careful not to treat the
Faster.
holy
Shorter
But
than
I was
faster
saying it to
taller.
you, and then he just interrupted me and said
And
it.
then you go ahead. You say it.
Offerings to God.
Judah.
Aiden, find your
Holy
own.
offerings.
There were other offerings besides that one.
So go find it,
Well,
Aiden. Go.
holy.
Okay, granted, but like there's different kinds, right? Did you guys notice how many different kinds of offerings were mentioned in 8:21?
I did. Judah did.
The 3
There's another set of
things are,
offerings in
if
Revelation.
the priests or Levites go too near
So what
the altar
makes
or
those
the
offerings sacred?
the sacred objects.
Given by instructions to us.
So you can't say because they're holy.
The
The
Israelites,
question is what makes them
besides the
sacred?
Oh,
Like what makes them
because God
holy?
gave
Same
it
question.
to people.
And 3, if the Levites treat the tithes as
I don't know. You want to put more words on that?
Because God people them and gave it to Aaron.
If everyone's
I didn't say juggle the word.
it's a comment. They're also in that
Can you think of the reason why an
for like anything like that. He basically came from God.
Because it was set apart. I saw.
I asked you this time. Shushi.
So why would
Why would an offering to God, like they're calling it holy, right? We know it's a sacred thing. What's making it sacred, right? I can give you a present to become sacred.
Yes, it does.
because you don't just give poop to God.
Actually,
This is true. No, this is true. Well, we could go into Leviticus where it talks about removing that, but yeah, it's true.
They get pooped in.
Well, I think you're
When
partially
you
right
offer
on
an animal to God, how do you guarantee the bowel rate?
with
You just say poop vowels.
That's correct.
that, like,
There's a verse for that.
Who's the Old Testament brain? Big brain.
when something is sacred,
Get rid of that.
what
He used to be good at
what does sacredness do?
we should do that one verse where if you find it, you get a donut.
So what else makes these
That's
offerings?
not related.
Oh.
It sounds similar.
Waiting.
Sacred
Okay,
is
so
sacred or not.
fact,
I was just.
Do you have
the fact that like it's on chapter 18, and that's a lucky number for God.
Well, okay.
It's on verse 3.
So when
When
you give an offering to God, it becomes His. And that's symbolic because He is spirit, and what you're giving Him is physical. Right? You're giving Him a cow, you're giving Him grain, you're giving Him wine, you're giving Him oil. So it's symbolic. There's no point where God's spiritual existence is going to like drink that wine.
Something
Good
is
job.
sacred if it
Thank
belongs to God.
you gave me something cool. It's not going to happen. So when you give it to God,
Demands
what really does happen in the
some
literal
amount of
sense is the transfer of ownership. It really does become His in terms of who it belongs to. So even though He's not gonna like take part in the barbecue and nom down on some beef, like it is His cow in a very real sense. That's not symbolic. That's not metaphorical. It is actually His cow. Because it's actually His at that point,
God, you're doing it the way God intended using, or
then it becomes
doing
sacred.
whatever it is, like that's sacred, like, in the way God intended it to be.
No, Aiden, no.
Yeah.
Put it back. Put it back.
So, like,
You can
if
eat
something belongs to
It's like there's enough for all for me and him to have
someone
two more.
else,
Once you give it to God, it becomes sacred because it's His, He owns it. Does that make sense? That's the part that makes it sacred.
borrowing
So if you give something to God and it wasn't sacred before,
Here we go with,
sit down.
What's that?
Let me handle it.
yeah,
How about my,
Here's your spoon.
I don't know.
I don't know, which stuff you are.
Okay, let's talk about your VR, because it's awesome.
You can also spread this out to the first.
So if I'm borrowing your Oculus,
Yeah.
The firstborn people, the firstborn animals.
you probably have some instructions for how I should treat that, right?
Yeah, just don't chuck the controller on accident, don't drop it.
There's different.
Make sure the lens right there.
Sorry. No,
Just don't drop it, don't accidentally stick the controller, keep the lens clean, that's really all I need to do with it.
So,
Look away. Look away.
I'm really bad at
The firstborn were already God's. He already owns them.
and
They were His because He bought them.
I just completely fail
So
at
they
whatever
were sacred
I'm
when
trying
they
to
left.
do, and I
Exodus
get
means
really
exit.
angry, and I am about to throw the controller.
That's 60.
That's a problem, right? I'm not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
And you're probably gonna be upset if I do that, right?
Why is it called the Sega Exodus?
I'm probably gonna make sure it's not broken, I'm gonna do
The
that.
Genesis Exodus.
Okay.
Alright, we're gonna read verses 23 to 24. It's up to you, Aiden.
But like,
Read them.
if I'm doing something
Go.
that belongs to someone
You
else,
have to count 22.
that demands some level
22.
of
Okay.
me
I got
caring
you guys.
about what that person's wishes
now
are
on.
for that thing.
No. Israelites.
Oh, because they see it, like they might see different bands, like they see it.
They
Like how
approached
they
the
think,
Hebrew
or anything.
They
I mean,
come to
I mean,
hear
I don't think anyone is treating it like treating it
No, Aiden.
differently.
Oh,
There's only like one way. There's a thing that says there's like an instruction manual that says you do this for it, and then everyone does that.
Sure, but like,
Where are you?
Only the
If-
Levites may serve.
if something belongs to someone else, like, if I have my own Oculus, and if I want to throw the
This
controller,
is a
upset at
permanent
if I'm losing a
to be
game,
here from generation
I can do
to
that.
generation.
That's fine.
The Levites
If
receive
I want to
no
accept the risk that I might break the Oculus, then I'm perfectly fine. I can put the controllers wherever I want, as long as it's, you know, not in the person's head. But
Sacred.
still
I
a problem.
multiple times when she's in like, I might like turn around really fast, and then I actually like punch her in the head and fall in like a door.
So if it's mine, if it belongs to me,
Okay, so who did these
then
Israelites
I
go to?
I don't have to treat
No,
it.
that's good, because the verse says it in a way where you can actually read it wrong. And you could think they owe a tithe to Levites.
If I want to.
Because the Levites are gonna get it. It's gonna go into the Levites.
But if it belongs to Caleb,
But the gift wasn't to the Levites, and
then
that
all
was
of a
key
sudden
to
there's
making the
not
tithe make sense.
just
So like, this is really important for Christians
It's not
today.
just an
When you
option.
give money to the church,
like
if you start
I
to
might
think
break it,
you're giving money
and I could replace it for you.
like me,
I could just buy the new Oculus, right? But
Jonathan.
there's something there
You can
that's
start
more
to
than just the option.
Jared's cool,
Right?
He works his job, so
If I broke your Oculus and then bought
still
the
just
Oculus,
working here voluntarily.
then loan that Oculus to me again.
Again, he hasn't been granted that title, which is
So
it's like been put into the works. But yeah, it's not my decision. I don't get access to whether or not people should be pastors. You can talk to Bud Sam and Dick about that. They're the elders.
Okay.
I'm not the Dick.
Elder?
No, I do.
Yeah,
Dick
so-
sings. I do.
Okay, yeah. So Bud Sam and Dick, they're the
There's
elders.
some level of
Six pastors, they're the eldest. They're the
fact
ones who
that
make
I
this.
disrespect.
So if you're actually curious about it, they wouldn't
I
be
said,
like you just
yeah,
ask, hey, so is Jared a pastor?
You know, it didn't matter
You
to
say
me.
like, why?
Even though you said,
Feel free.
okay, I want you to follow these rules, but
That
I
makes
do
sense.
this thing.
Makes sense.
And
What did you do?
didn't follow the
I
There's a pretty good chance that if I
Was it an
said
accident?
I wanted to borrow something
No, it was on
else,
purpose.
something
No, like,
I just walked past.
I can
he, I thought he was looking at
And you say,
I thought he was
yeah,
looking
well,
at
I want you to
sister.
do this and this
He
and
was looking
this.
at me, and I just walked past,
But
thinking,
you might do that. If I had
Kicked me
borrowed
like in the back of
something
the
from
cab,
you
like, where's my
and followed your instructions to the letter, and
Oh, I
given
thought-
it back to you and said, hey, look, I polished the lens for you, and
You know, I'm pretty sure
you know,
Layden was like giving
made
him
sure
a
I
dirty
cleaned things
face.
up.
So Bud jumped on, tackled him to the ground,
like
pulled
go
him
back
back
and
up.
forth between eating Doritos and playing on your controllers, you know. I was
No.
really careful and I made sure that I treated your Oculus like there's
Important to
a
know that as a Christian, when you give money to your church,
for some
you are not
reason
giving money to
I needed use of your future cars.
They will
You
receive
might
it.
say,
It will come into their
oh,
hands.
okay, well,
But you're giving it to
you know,
God.
I'm a little nervous
And
about this.
this
I
is
don't
not
know
only
how to
like metaphorically true, but also true.
But
Because we don't just take all the money out of the box.
treat it
and, like,
really well,
pass it
like
to
he
the
did my
pastors.
Oculus.
We take that money and we pay for electricity, keep these lights on.
You know, I might like.
We take that money and we buy the
But if I
microphone
already
that lets you hear
treated
us.
your
We take that money and we,
Oculus with,
we
very
literally
literally
buy gift cards to give
You're
your
gonna
people.
go, oh, I am not
can't
paying that for
afford
my
food
car.
this month. Like we give them
Right.
like when you give money to the church, the church is going to use it in other two ways, including pay the pastors, right? Part of it. So there's so many other ways we're going to use that money. So when you give money to the church, there's money to God, and then He's entrusted us. We're not perfect, but we do try our best. He's entrusted us to put that money to good use, to spend it wisely. Does that make sense? So if you start to think like my tithe is for my so if that's who I'm paying, you can start to think like
that trust is broken.
I'm owed something there's from my pastor, or else I shouldn't give my money.
Damage your stuff.
Does that make sense? Almost like going to a store, or going to a coffee shop. Like my coffee's terrible. I don't
So I think that that's what we're getting
this
at.
this shirt has a hole in it.
There are
Give me
these things that belong to God.
I didn't like the
They're
church
sacred and set apart for Him. And what God is saying is,
or like I did
these
something wrong and I
are
got
my
reprimanded.
rules for how
I'm never giving money
things
again.
are treated.
Does that make sense? Like you can start to have an
The
attitude
priests and
about
Levites
that,
being too
and
close to the altar.
at that point,
I
your
don't
offerings
want
to God
the Israelites
will cease
getting
to be
too
sacred
close to the tabernacle
because you're not giving them to
because
God.
those things are sacred. And I
You
especially
understand
don't
like
want
the critical
the
aspect
tithes
of your
that are
tithe
given
gift
to
to
the
the sacred
Levites
is
to be
that it's
treated as
being
common.
given to God.
I don't want it to
If your
be
attitude
that those
changes
things are treated as just,
and you're not giving
it's just money.
it's not
This
sacred.
is sacred. It belongs to God.
Does that make sense?
And so it demands a
And
level
it's
of
in your
respect.
heart that that change occurs. The money and the box will remain the same. You'll still be putting money in the box.
Not yours.
But the sacredness
The
leaves
rules
because
basically
the
for the
heart
tabernacle
changed.
is don't go near it.
Does that make
That's
sense?
what he says.
This is why this is actually important to learn because there isn't,
That's what
I
happened.
think, more than maybe two
I think
lessons
we
on
probably
this
already
in the New
covered
Testament.
this.
There's like
The last
one in
one
First
is one of the
Corinthians,
three things
and there's like the one in
mentioned, and the
Acts
three
where
warnings,
Ananias is
special
fired up.
/ sacred.
That's kind of it. So like in the Old Testament, you'll find
That
more
is,
instances
they
of
belong
this
to
stuff.
God. They're on loan.
So how could the stuff go to the Levites if it was sacred? How could the sacred
I guess we have
receive something that God had declared sacred?
Because the Levites would use it to further.
I'm not sure how we're meant to play this.
That's basically it. It's the same with the church. It's the same with the Levites.
Boom!
That was a good
That's
answer. This is a really good answer. Also, God gave them a sacred position. They were made sacred by the work they were doing. Their position was sacred. So your group should do the Kahoot, and this is the rule. I'll announce the rules to everyone, just so we're clear. Okay.
Announce it to everyone except for okay?
Except.
There's an example of people. Listen to Daniel. He has a microphone.
All right, guys. So the Kahoot is nearing. We have 15 minutes left. The Kahoot should be done as a group, and the leaders of the group should not push the answer until their group has told them that is the correct answer. Is that clear, Jeremiah? That the timing gives you extra points. So the timing should be based on the group's ability to decide. None of the questions have a time limit this time. There's no time limit on the questions, so you can take as long as you need to on any given question. Okay? I do have a prize waiting for the group that does the best. Judah, get out of the kitchen. Come here. Oh, you're doing a mom favor. That's cool. I can allow it.
Wait, what? You allow mom favors?
Yeah.
How about
Mama wanted me to eat all the ice cream in the fridge. Let's get
my mom specifically asked me to tell Daniel to give her money.
Alright, sorry guys, let's finish up our sheets.
Oh, do the come on.
We gotta finish this. So we need the last verses read. Let's read it. 25 through 32.
Hey. Oh,
May have been assigned here. I am
25 through 32.
it's like
It's like the last two paragraphs.
The Lord also told
I don't
me
think that
Fix your church.
how do you make the little key?
Because if you don't pay attention, you're not gonna be much help.
I want that one.
I can't give you the answer.
I'm gonna be all the help at the Kahoot.
Like,
I literally can't do anything because I wrote the whole.
So what?
That's
fine.
Did the teachers do anything?
I want that on mine because they're
They're not supposed to,
listen to
but
one.
like I have to.
Yes, fine. I'm like maybe.
Yeah. Would you just
that'll
sit
be
down?
helpful, 'cause I can put that on.
The Lord also told Moses, give these instructions to the Levites. When you receive from the people who come to Israel, I have assigned you at your allotment. Give a tenth of these tithes. You receive a tithe to the Lord as a sacred offering. The Lord will consider this offering to be a harvest offering, as though it were the first grain from your own portion for wine from your own offering.
Obese cow. I don't
You
know.
must
Obese
present
cow.
1/10
Yeah.
of the tithes received from the Israelites as a secret offering to the Lord.
Sure.
This
Obese
is the
cow.
Lord's sacred
Portion.
portion. You must present it to Aaron. Aiden, shh. You're laughing. You're blinking too loud. Aaron, the priest.
Wait.
Be sure to give the Lord the best
The Levites. No, it
portions.
said
Let's go.
Portions
over it or what?
of the gifts given.
I specifically remember.
Also give these instructions to the
I
Levites.
specifically thought Aaron because God
Present
gave
the
Aaron
best
orders.
part as you
So
offer.
we do that.
As you
Oh, but then I just remembered that they were.
It will be considered as though it came from
Levites.
you Levites and your families may eat this food anywhere you wish, for it is your
Must be careful not to go into the sacred
for
object.
serving in the tabernacle. You will not be considered accepting the Lord's priest. If you give that priest, if you give that portion, the priest, but
Aaron's
be
sons,
careful
the
not to
priests, the
treat the
Levites are
holy
Aaron.
gifts of the people of Israel as though they were common. If you do,
It's in verse
you
22.
shall die.
Yeah, no Israelites.
Okay, so you died.
verse 3.
There were 3 warnings of the death penalty in this chapter. And you gotta look up the 3 warnings.
Oh, okay. Warning 1. Never.
Verse 3, verse 22, verse 32.
1,000.
Katie?
Oh,
Grounded.
Put your spoon on the floor.
The spoon?
Yes.
The
on the
broken
floor.
one is like.
For a moment, just put it on the floor. Just leave it down on the floor. Reopen to numbers 18.
That was
Look up
really
verse
That was really
22 and 32. The verses are listed on your sheet, so you don't have to memorize them. They just say the verses in the second last question.
Yeah.
You're allowed to go check it too. But I would like
It's
to.
right here. It says,
Open up to numbers 18.
It's verses 22 and 32,
Which is written on your sheet.
Wait, so 3.
Responsible for any
22
and
and
33, and it says you and your sons. Right here. Your
Just
sons.
read those in your head real quick.
Oh, no,
The question is,
perform the same.
what do these death penalty warnings have in common?
I think it's in time.
Go. It's someone actually calling. Go. You gotta finish it. There's parents out who are calling. You have an answer? Feed goat.
See how it goes. That you need to feed. Feed goat. Daniel, quick, feed the goat.
Do
Feed
you have an
Aiden.
answer?
You need to feed your goat?
Do you have an answer?
He's already feeding you. It's fine.
Oh!
Check out
What they have in common? That they're death penalties, that if you don't do it, you'll die.
That was stated in the question. You learned nothing from reading the verses.
Oh. Well, guys, it's actually important. If you go 2 year and you're safe and you
Okay.
So timing does
So what are the three things have in common?
that like only the Levites and priests.
We don't know the secret offering for special offering. Oh, it says right here. I just
Okay, so what is the warning in verse 3?
It's like go near an object to die.
And then what's the warning in 22?
The thing that like
We give all these instructions
Okay, and then what's the warning in 32?
which are brought to me
oh,
by
the one that like
I have
if
to
you
all
if you
these
like
consecrated offerings to you and your son within the chair.
not to treat the holy gifts as the people of Israel.
Let's look carefully.
Don't treat them as what?
Gifts.
Don't treat them as though they were common.
Yeah.
That's very different from the first two. Do you understand? There's a common thread you notice in the first two, but that has nothing to do with the third one. The first two were don't go near the thing or you die, right? That's the first two.
The Lord gave
Don't
these
go near
further
the thing or you
instructions
die.
to Aaron.
This one is
I myself
If you
have
treat it as
performed
common,
all the holy offerings
if you treat it as
brought to
normal,
me
then you die.
And you
That's very different. So what's the common thread between all
and your
three?
sons as your permanent share.
Because
Judah.
you only spotted a thing that's the same for 1 and 2.
the threats.
There's more to it than that. There's more to it. There's something else that ties all three together.
There's 4 more.
Yeah, make sure you guys are.
Judah. That's it.
Pick one that has.
You see it?
What are the common threads?
Yeah, what's the common thread with all three things? So you've got, don't go too close to the sacred objects, such as furniture of the actual tent of meeting. Don't go too close to the tabernacle, which is like the whole surrounding structure, the whole yard.
No, it means like
And then don't treat the offerings that are sacred as though they're common.
inherent, like for
Oh, that was totally different from the other two. So what? Even though they're, that's it. That's the common thread. So you have to take sacred things and treat them as sacred. And the punishment if you didn't was death.
Okay.
All right, last question. What made the is mentioned in the three warnings sacred?
Makes sense on the thing.
Oh,
What made them sacred?
it's because they're like God, like what God did.
They're His.
Yeah.
water, I mean,
He
he's
owns
alive.
them.
It's what
It's either God's tent or it's God's
Stuff.
place. It's like all of His stuff is altar. Or it's the offerings that are God's. But they're all His. Oh yeah. So that's what we mean by sacred. All right, you guys ready for the Kahoot?
I think Aiden should go through the whole thing again.
I think I should get my phone for the Kahoot.
Okay, here we go.
Can I use my phone?
No, you may not. It's got a big long link, not just like the punchy code. And so I have this in the chat.
We're gonna use this
Punchy
thing.
thing.
So I'm just gonna punch the link and it'll take us.
What do you mean? You can just punch
Oh, are we using
Move your chairs around.
Okay, water, I mean, ice.
Move your chairs around.
What's that?
I don't know, it's scrolling the more I'm going.
I bet it's Samuel.
Water keeps
So
us
someone who has a code, okay?
in God.
Micah's.
So, you guys ready? I'm not gonna answer until you guys agree on the answer.
Definitely.
Judah the Buddha. Comment that
I agree with that.
What?
Yeah. Water keeps.
Okay, ready?
Ginormous.
Oh,
The scallywags.
Eternal, I got you.
Isn't that pretty cool?
Doesn't agree.
Scallywag.
It's like good
It's
works.
too true.
It's like you've done my good works.
Is it code time?
Oh wait, no, it's not.
No, it's the short bedtime.
Good work.
Remember, the speed at which we agree on an answer will help us get more points.
This one.
Yes.
Because what it says.
Or who is made responsible for any offense?
Comfort. I mean, in heaven. In heaven, now we're gonna have comfort because
I was gonna say the Levites. I knew it.
Daniel.
we're gonna go to heaven one day.
I told you I can't help you.
Oh yeah, with God.
I know all the answers.
But with people, that's not eternal life. Right.
Wait, what did you say?
I'm definitely disagreeing with that.
Wait, what did you say?
Relationship with people has eternal value.
When we go to heaven, we're not nice.
In red flag, you had a relationship with your friend, you moved ahead.
How are you defining relationship right now?
Like family.
No, it's relationship with God.
Relationship with anyone. I mean, a relationship is eternal value.
I mean, yeah, but like
I told you the priests.
You said no. Son.
Yes, eternal value.
yeah,
But your relationship with people aren't.
because they're humans. We're humans. We're not angelic beings like angels. Like we're just like.
But don't you think that God values his relationship with us?
Oh yeah,
That's
of
what I
course.
thought. That's what I thought.
So why shouldn't we value our relationship with other people?
I feel like relationship.
Oh,
I think it's
about God.
Since if God values his relationship with people other than us.
people die.
One or four, two or three or four.
Yeah, maybe
I mean, I think there's one more.
Comfort? I don't want people to, like, people die.
people are. Some of us like people.
But
give
people
us
also, like, help.
eternal value, like value. We are valuable because we are like one of the most valuable things on the planet because we have a soul. We're the only animal on this planet with a soul.
No.
Like we're not like we have a soul. Animals, other animals do not. We know the difference between good and evil.
We just
We're done.
That's
Before I wait.
well,
Don't let them finish. Hey, that's my spoon.
no, that's
You know
not,
that
no,
spoon's been in
that's
his
not
mouth,
true.
bud.
Are we ready
They
to submit?
choose to be evil.
Okay, yeah, I guess. Yeah. We thought we were gonna go
Yeah, marriage.
Yeah, thing one. That's all.
Wait, what is called?
Oh, wait, and human life.
All of them.
It's all.
He said we're up, it says win up to 4,000. It's all.
Oh,
No, you. Well, that doesn't mean that.
you American.
Wait, what is the lettuce?
Okay.
What is the lettuce?
The 4,000 has nothing to do with how many are.
Okay, human life. Marriage.
Is it multiple life?
I feel like it could be.
It's definitely human life marriage. That's a marriage.
Why is it?
No, I feel like it's marriage.
It's human. Is it multiple? That.
I feel like it's really fixing. So those are
First Peter 1:16.
we've talked about multiple times that marriage and that are very sacred to God.
How, like,
It's very
humans
sacred.
continue to. Kind of weird thinking it like that.
It makes sense.
Okay, so we know it's not.
Yeah.
We know it's
No,
not.
human. What do you mean by human life? Like human life, like.
Humans. My life, your life.
Has he?
Okay, what does it say?
God has said like human things.
So who?
Sacred.
Is it supposed to be both?
I mean, if you murder someone, that would say. Children, all human life.
God's children see.
Yeah, and it's definitely not America.
What? Bro,
I wasn't ready.
You literally both said God. Excitedly, I might add.
I'm pretty sure Aiden said God.
Oh no, it's not.
I said God, but I wasn't thinking that you were just gonna pick it. And I thought you had to submit. I thought you had to submit.
Said like,
Dang. I would have said Christmas.
human life.
Okay, that's it.
No, but we're human life. We're just
I don't know if they're
like
done
in
yet.
significant specks of dust in the universe.
Talking about questions, they might get another.
And like, I don't think that's like considered sacred. So I feel like that's so sacred.
Oh yeah.
So, I feel like we should do that. Yeah, we should.
I already.
Wait, Judah, get over here. Get over here.
I already played.
What are you doing?
I'm watching.
Do you want to try and
I don't think we're gonna lose. We're
get the
gonna
ones we got wrong right?
Yeah, I feel like we can go.
I don't know actually. I've never done this.
Oh, yeah.
I knew it was America. Unless it's a
Yeah,
joke.
there's no way.
Unless it's a
There's no
joke.
way.
Unless it was a joke. That was the only
Last
way.
question, guys. I hope everybody else is done. I hope everybody is done. That would be
First teacher. Who is supposed to be?
Who must perform the sacred duties inside the sacred grave?
Oh yeah,
He knows all people aren't holy.
I told you. I told you.
First Peter 1.
Pick one that has.
Okay, baby, it's not
The water. Here we go. The scriptures say you must be holy because I am holy.
All people. Because he's talking to her about
Let's see.
world relationships and all that. Well, you know, people.
First Peter what?
First Peter 1 is people relationship. That's all.
Okay, we're good?
Right here. It says, well, the scriptures say you must be holy because I am holy. God.
For us.
Well, for the scriptures say you
It
must be
says
holy.
you must be holy.
Who's the you?
Who's trying to?
Hey, love me.
Ayla, yes.
Hi, Ayla.
I feel like it's all people.
All people.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I thought it was
You didn't see
submit.
Christians? You didn't see Christians?
I can just keep them if you want. I can just keep them if you want.
What's wrong?
So, no, I thought it was going to be a click and then
Alright,
submit.
cool. I will send them
I
along.
thought that's
Bye,
Did you
Ayla.
answer the question you got wrong?
Sorry, man.
Obese
Guys, well-
cow? What? Who is obese cow? We're obese cow.
Yeah.
No, you're not. No, we are. We're
fat cows. If you just listened to me in the first place.
Alright, guys, pick up your trash on your way out.
Yeah,
Put your Bibles
Judah.
up on
We
the
got
rack.
them all right.
Put your Bibles on the rack. I love y'all. Have a great, amazing Sunday.
Wait, I think we clicked the guys.
That last one.
What's up? Is that your phone?
Oh, that was on It was so cute. Don't fix it. I could go. We were trying to. I
Yeah, they totally thought it was
Come here. Yes, you.
My guys thought it was a whole
What?
I don't know where that goes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Judah, no. Yeah, wasn't it you? My handwriting was too bad. I didn't have those.
Said you could earn 4,000 points.
which is accurate. The correct answer is
Hey, did you ever tell Daniel why Chucks are called Chucks?
Yes, I won actually.
I don't think you remember.
I don't know how to do this. I know it is for you. So,
Danny,
Don't even kill him.
Danny, you're smart at these things. How do I do this?
also, they answered way too
Thanks. He doesn't even have a girlfriend.
Yeah, mine do too.
Judah, no you don't.
got a girlfriend.
Yes, mine do too.
Same. I have like 5.
First guy said I'm not leaving, and then I see up on my screen that she left.
For the rankings, which means your ranked group wins the prize.
Of course. I'm sure he didn't help at all. Dang it.
Actually, I did get help.
He just had guys.
If you just listen to me, I would have won.
Who is this?
Oh, I logged in earlier
Oh, yeah, that
in
was
the thing,
us?
and then it timed out.
I was like, wait, what?
That's not fair.
How? And then see how do you ask? Yeah. How? You know you're smart. How? Just say yes.
No, Aiden, you did it. You did it.
Oh, that's right.
What does Chucks mean?
How?
And why is that the name of the shoe?
The last one.
It was this too.
Okay, and?
I think their screen, I think I heard Shane say their screen
Almost.
You're like an inch away.
Do you know why they're called Chucks? With Congress, we put them on the All-Star team, it's Chuck Taylor, who wore Congress in the All-Star team.
They actually didn't say Chuck Taylor. Like a lot of the Chucks today, they still say Charles Taylor.
You gave the star.
If you have the star on it, it says Charles Taylor right on the shoe. Those are Chucks.
Oh, thank you.
Like my high tops are Chucks.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, but
I would
not really.
I would say A for effort.
She nearly remembered.
She nearly remembered.
It's the part where his name is on the shoe. That's kind of the critical part. I mean, the rest is impressive. Like, most people don't even know about all of that.
It's like Jordans. I told her, I was like, it's the same as like buying Jordans.
Yeah, just got the guy's name on it.
Or his name on it.
Logo.
Right.
Daddy, can I go come down?
Yeah.
We have to go.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we're going shopping.
Is it too close? I'm going to close my eyes until it's sideways, so I don't know how it felt. All right. Katie has won a free thing from the snack bar.
I would like to see the man.
Good job, 8th grade boys. Well done.
You know what? My team was the first to finish, Daniel. And when we finished,
It sounds like you might have cut some corners.
Okay.
when we finished, we were in first place.
Hello! Oh, just the guy I wanted to give a wet willy to.
Oh, good.
Okay, so
I've been with Willis for a long time.
you get a choice. Wet willy.
Yes.
But every single time we
Slice margin across the eye.
Oh, that's the worst. That's pink.
Liquid Larry.
A liquid Larry? Oh. Okay, had it once. No, one time.
Is that just something recent just happened? Or
I'm just.
this conversation brought that
This
out?
conversation brought that up. Everything else is gross, but that one I feel like I could get picked at.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's all kinds of things.
Everything else just seems gross. It doesn't seem like it would have any lasting consequences.
Oh, believe me, everything I do is something.
What?
She's downstairs, let's go.
Because why is she downstairs?
That's because she didn't.
These are deep theological questions.
She looked at the stairs and she said, not a mountain for me to climb. Later, buddy.
Where's Daddy, Mama? He was downstairs for
Hello. Are you hoping to talk? Pardon? Hoping to talk?
Yeah, you got a minute? Okay, Mosley was going to come with me today, but he woke up and said he has a headache. He'll throw up somewhere. But last night I heard some delirious.
Yeah, it was kind of a bummer. So
I didn't hear much, and I was trying to eat.
it didn't start as anything big. It started as like the thing that happens every week with random kids all the time, which is like, you know, someone in the group is being disruptive during study. We just asked him to move. And I tried to explain to Dylan afterwards, because I feel like she felt picked on in the moment. But it was really as simple as this. We had 3 girls in a row. They're all chit-chatting back and forth. They were distracting each other. And Dylan was the one in the center. So we asked Dylan to move. That usually is the simplest formula. You got like 3 people in a row, you pick the center person, move them. And there's a gap in the middle. And that person's at somewhere where there's not someone they want to talk to, and you know, usually they quiet down and more listening happens. Which I thought would be good for Dylan. She actually had some really good deep questions towards the end. So I thought, you know, and she told me in advance that she was going to have those questions. So I thought she should be plugged in and paying attention, and this will be good. So we asked her to move, and she just refused. And it went through like a leader hierarchy and like escalating, trying like, why is this even an issue? Like, could she just move? Like, it's not that big a deal. But she refused to the point where every single leader had tried their hand at, I don't understand. You're still talking back and forth. You're still being distracting. You gotta quit that. And you're refusing to move. And then some of my leaders did what they're supposed to. They're supposed to escalate from in the moment talking to, in the hall private talking to get the pastor involved. And if I'm here, you know, involve me. If like it's a Sunday and we've got like Bud downstairs and I'm in the middle of something, you can always grab Bud. Like you can kind of take your pick as the situation supplies. But it was a Friday. I was the only one here, so they stopped me right in the middle of teaching and were like, Daniel, we have all tried, and Dylan refused to move. So I tried to talk to her in the moment, but once you have me in teaching time talking to you, you have the attention of the room.
Yeah.
She locked up. She just went to like statue mode. She would not speak.
Okay, I heard a little something like that.
So I felt bad because I know Dylan is shy. I know she's not always confrontational. She's usually non-confrontational.
Yeah.
And so I knew whatever happened before this that I wasn't privy to till later. I got told all the story. That in that moment, the shyness was probably the reason for the lockup, and not whatever came before.
Okay.
Like, just to be completely solid and refuse to move and refuse to talk. So I just told her in that moment when she was totally frozen, I would rather you have a conversation with a leader who's asking you to do something, and you can hash it out with them, and you don't have to have the whole room staring at you. So I'm giving the option right now. If you start talking with them and obeying and listening to them, this is over. Me and you, the whole group staring, it's over.
Right, give them an easy out.
You just talk to the
safe
leader.
face.
And I said, can you just nod your head? You're going to talk and listen. You're going to handle it with them. And she still wouldn't answer. She wouldn't even like nod her head. It's like, at some point, Jeremiah tried to re-engage her because he was the one physically closest at that point, and to just like give her the chance to answer him without telling me she was going to, just do it. You know, just like start actually talking to him. And so she did a little bit, and so I let it end there, but I didn't know the whole thing until afterwards. I only knew about that moment in time when I was talking to her.
Know the other.
Well, that's most of it. So then at the end, we just pulled her out in the hall and we had the real pastoral conversation that she should have, not with 20 other kids looking on. And so we just stayed afterwards, me and Hannah and Dylan. Hannah was like the first person to talk to her that I didn't know about until the end. And so Hannah had talked to her, and Hannah had asked her, like, can you come out in the hall with me and just talk about this for a second? Because I don't understand why you're refusing.
Yeah.
Let's go talk about it. And she refused that. She wouldn't do that. That was like one of the first things that happened. So we talked about all that in the hallway, and we tried to just express to her, like, the reason we're doing any form of study any week at all is because we love you. Like, you know, Dylan, we love you. We want you to hear from God. We want you to be engaged with your peers and able to ask questions and able to, you know, find something about what God says about your life. And we also want you to be in a safe environment, and if there's someone in the group that just flat out refuses to listen to authority, that presents real problems.
Yeah.
Like, in any given situation it presents some problem, but in certain it can present larger problems. Oh, yeah, sorry man. Forgot I still had that.
Bye.
Bye guys. See ya. So yeah, it escalated before I got involved. I was only there for the last bit. And so in our conversation in the hall, it took a while still to get her to start speaking and speaking honestly. Every question I asked for the first half, she just answered, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Brain not engaging or thinking, or I'm making it up saying I don't know.
There was one other answer which made me believe it was intentional. The other answer was, I don't even remember that happening. It's like, this is all within the span of the same night. It's all kind of the same exact thing. It was a repetitive thing that happened. Like, how did you forget that?
It's a coping mechanism that maybe has worked before.
Well, no, she was just lying, and later she said as much. Like, later she explained why she said no, and she explained why she was stubborn about it. And when she finally did explain, I said, do you understand why I said that I didn't believe you before? When you said you didn't remember?
Yeah.
Like, because clearly you remember. So she just said, I didn't want to move, and I didn't think anything could be done. I didn't think anyone could make me do anything. And that's it.
Gosh, when the kids get to the point where they know you really can't make them do almost anything.
And if that's just the way it is, that there's no consequences, then it continues. And And so I need to be able to express to her the series of disciplinary actions. So I did. I said, this is basically how it's going to go next time. If you're asked to do something that's reasonable, like the leader asking is not out of line in what they're asking, then you're going to be spoken to in the moment. And if the behavior continues or repeats, you're going to be spoken to separate from the group. And if the behavior continues or repeats, you're going to be spoken to by a pastor. And if the behavior continues or repeats, we're involving your parents. And for most of my kids, that's not a stretch because I've met them. I've never met Dylan's parents. And so that's going to be a weird one.
I don't, she lived just across the street, the back house.
Yeah.
And we've known her for 4 years since we've been here, and I know her parents divorced, so she lives with her mom and stepdad. I've met both of them a bunch of times. They seemed really fine. They're really, I think they're just happy that she just goes and stays at our house for hours and hours. I think it's kind of one of the, and usually when it comes to church on Friday night, it's like, okay, Dylan's coming, and like every single time I'm driving him here and picking him up. Can your mom do this?
No, that's not why she's able to come. She's able to come because they probably don't want to be part of it.
And they got their other things going on. I know when you're divorced and you get a step parent, every minute you spend with your own kid takes time away from all that.
It's a hard formula.
But it's good. We find like, hey, it's great if she comes here and the kids can play.
Yeah.
And we can take her to church.
Truth be told, there are so many kids in this group that do so many worse things as far as like that first moment, right? The first thing. The talking during group it's like the lowest offense. This is so peanuts compared to other things.
Compared to throwing the pool balls.
Yeah, you know what I mean? All the physical stuff, hey, get your hands off him, like all the first offenses, this is the least bad thing I can think of.
Oh wow, okay.
But most of the kids, when you talk to them, they respond right then, right there in that moment. And so it requires constant parenting. Like, effectively, it's what we're doing up here a lot of the time.
Yeah, and you got 12 to 15 kids.
But most of the kids, most of the time, they respond when you talk to them.
And Mosey too?
Oh yeah, Moses too, totally. There's one kid who I know is particularly bad, and you can't just repeat yourself. It will not do anything. He has very special needs. He's on the spectrum, and you have to physically stand between like him and the thing he wants. Like he's playing video games, you could ask him 10 times to stop or 1 time to stop, and you're gonna have the same result. You go stand in front of the TV, he stops.
And then it changes. Okay, yeah.
So I know him, and I get the special need, and so like in circumstances with him, I expect to have to do more. Dylan has never shown any extra like needs before, and so this stuck out. It was just an oddity to have that level of stubbornness. And so, and really just the way our discipline is structured, like we hope to correct a kid and just treat him with grace from that point on. Like we corrected them, and that's it, we're done. We're not gonna like classify you. We're not gonna, mark you, label
you. Have a book and you got another demerit.
Yeah, our hope is we can just keep coaching and pushing them higher. Just keep pushing you higher.
She's never shown a stubbornness, so when she's at our house and stuff, they clean up when they're...
Most of the stubbornness I've seen from her is in places where it doesn't bother us. It's not a moral issue. Okay, so most of her stubbornness is like, I don't want to play the game. And we're encouraging her, like, come on, play the game.
Okay.
And there's like 1 or 2 kids who don't want to play. And she's stubborn about it. I will not, I won't, I don't want to, no. And it's like, that's fine. That's not a moral issue.
Okay.
Right? It's not right or wrong for you to play the game. It's not good or bad. It's just, this is more fun, we think. And you'll engage with the other kids, and that's good. So there's like good to be had. But it's not like evil to sit out of the game, and so we let it go. And so I've seen stubbornness in those other areas. And so I wasn't necessarily surprised, but it was kind of like the first moral stubbornness. Like, you were disrupting, asking you to move. That's it. It's not a huge thing. And yeah, it was like the same amount of stubbornness, just a flat no.
Okay, so, but then it ended up kind of resolving itself for now, but.
Oh yeah, just with that
okay.
conversation at the end, I think we're cool. I don't know from her perspective,
Yeah.
in her head, where she's at, because she wasn't talkative. You know, like she answered questions,
Uh-huh.
but she wasn't just explaining, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm still lacking a bit of clarity as to like, was she offended that, you know, by the end of it, did she walk away offended? Was she hurt? Like, I don't know if she's gonna have lasting bad feelings about that interaction.
Yeah, yeah,
Because she
yeah.
didn't say much.
Okay.
So she may not, I don't know.
Oh, and gosh, she's what, 11?
Yeah, she's pretty young.
Mosey's gonna be 12, Mosey's 11, so she must be